The show will start shortly, so while you wait, let's get to know your hosts. Kim and Carlos are a married couple, grew up in the same small town, and met because of sports. Here's a blast from the past of what we were like back then. Fun facts about Carlos: he was our high school basketball star, and he ran a leg of the Olympic torch run for the 1984 Olympics. I was a freshman when Carlos was a senior. He wrote these messages to me in our yearbook back in 1985. We decided to start our podcast in 2023. Our first season used this cover art. The first season was our memoir about getting your child through cancer. The name of our show has deep meaning for us because doctors would always blow us off with these two words, typical and unique. We made this montage part of our intro for a while.
Hit with so many typicallys and uniques.
Oh, yes, that is very typical. We see it all the time.
Don't worry about it. That's typical, you know.
Oh, every child is unique, so we can't say what is typical.
That's typical. See you later. You know.
Well, that's unique. We don't really see that very much.
Yeah, typical or unique.
Since then, we took a break from podcasting and came back with season 2 as a discussion podcast, mostly discussing true crime. We can talk about almost anything on here, though. Tonight is our first live, and we thank you for joining us. Now, if you're ready, let's get into it. Welcome to Typically Unique. I'm Kim Aponte, and I'm here with my husband, Carlos.
Hello.
We're discussing Big Brother season 26 that just started yesterday. It was episode 1, part 1. Part 2 is on tonight. So let us know in the comments if you have watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And before we start talking about the show, we wanted to talk about why we're so into Big Brother.
Yeah.
How long we've been watching it.
So we started watching on episode 1 when it
Season 1.
Season 1, yeah, when it first came out. And gosh, that was back 2000.
Yeah, and I don't know if we've missed many.
yeah, since then. And I don't know why we got so enamored with it, but we did. It was, part of our weekly watch list. We watched it all the time, and we even joined the after hours live feeds that they had that first year, and we thought it was just really crazy, this newfangled reality TV show, and we've watched it ever since. I wouldn't say we're super fans. I think we're just casual. We enjoy it every year. But we've had our favorites over the years, but we couldn't recite every episode and talk about every character.
No, but Janelle's my favorite player ever. Yeah. And she was on season 6.
Okay, there you go. There you go. But there's a few people that were memorable, but I don't think we we would call ourselves super duper fans, but we are. We definitely enjoy the show. We've always watched it together, got our children into it a little bit as well. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's, for us, well, for me, I guess I'll speak for myself. I like kind of going into it fresh after that first year of watching some of the lives. It kind of took away from the next episode that we would watch on TV because I kind of knew what was happening. And if I ever go into a movie or a show,
no spoilers,
so Kim would read a book about something and then we'd go watch the movie because that's her genre.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah. She would try to tell me I was like, look, I want to go into the movie fresh. I want to make my own opinions, so I like going in fresh. However, I think it's important to say that if people do watch the lives and are watching us tonight or in the future, and we're not going to put a no spoiler, on here at all. I mean, if you
We're
want
not
to,
going to yell at anybody.
yeah, we're not going to yell at anybody. If you want to, talk about those things, we're basically going to talk about the episode that just completed and maybe have some speculations about the next episode or, something like that. Does that sound okay to you?
Yes. And we're going to talk about the show and what it's like and everything. But when you're saying the live, so they air this reality show, Big Brother, if you don't know, and afterwards when the show ends, they still keep the cameras rolling. And if you paid into a subscription and they still do it, you could spy on them and watch them and hear them,
Right.
and chat with people while you're doing that. So we were, I don't know, infatuated, not infatuated, but just intrigued is the word by that back then. So we tried it that 1 year, but yeah, it gave too much away. So we're like, we don't want to know everything. You would know everything before the episode aired.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of, and with that comes a lot of things that they don't air on the show.
Right.
So
that's
always,
the good part.
That's the good
you
part.
get to see the fights and all the craziness.
Why people got kicked out, what they did. There was, over the past few years, there's been a lot of issues with, people saying certain things and then ultimately getting released from the show. And, people would want to hear that. And sometimes, CBS wouldn't really want to air that stuff. So, unless you were on some of those lives like that, or, you really didn't know what
find
happened.
out stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into this one.
Yep.
Let's talk about the folks on this show. So
I'm gonna try something here. Yeah,
right.
There we go.
All right. So I am it's funny, I'm in sales, but I am bad with remembering people's names. So I always have to put something with it to kind of remember their name, and typically it's a nickname. So I haven't known these characters enough to know like their names.
Yeah, we just watched the first episode.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 16 people entering the Big Brother house.
Right.
And last night they only introduced 8 of them.
The first 8. Yes.
So we're going to show you the first 8 and we're going to give our first impressions on these people that are entering the competition.
So let's start with Cam.
Yeah, we got Cam.
So Cam, when they started introducing his character or him as a person,
right?
I was a little intrigued because he was a Division I athlete for a little bit, played professional football, and I thought, oh, okay, that's good, relatable for me. I'm a little bit of a sporto, so I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't quite sure if he was, I guess my first impression of him was he was a little bit more understated as a professional athlete than I thought he would be. So that could change. But I think he came in a little bit humble, which is good. But I don't know. What was your thoughts of Cam?
So, of course, while I was watching last night, I had to take some notes because I can't rely on my memory. But he said, when they're showing the montage of them finding out, that they're going to be in the house and you get to see them a little bit in their personal lives. He said, "I'm not cocky." And I was like, red flag.
He probably
That's
will
be a red flag. So we'll see how that plays out with him.
He did start off a little bit humble, so I'll give him credit.
Maybe
if that's going to be his thing on the show, like let me be a little bit humble and stuff. Because I know, I guess I know a little bit that to be a high level athlete, you have to have some narcissism. You have to have some competitive drive. You got to have some, cockiness, confidence,
absolutely,
to succeed, and he's trying to downplay that a little bit. So that you said red flag, because that's the opposite of I predicted he would be. So good.
So then we have Rubina.
You start
she's
with Rubina.
The tiny one. So she's like 4'9", but she's the little Spitfire. So huge little body, but huge personality. what did it say? She's like a bartender, an entertainment bartender or
Yeah.
something. It said she was. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Nothing else really stood out to me about her. Just I know you, and I think so far out of the first 8, she'll be the one that gets on your nerves. She just seems like she's going to be over the top, overly excited.
One of the first 8 is already getting on my nerves, so
well, I know who that is.
Yeah,
too.
but it won't be at this point. It won't be Rabina, but I likened her to a Chihuahua. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
She's tiny, but she's barking real loud. You know, she wants to make a statement. She wants to make her presence known. And so that was my kind of first take with Rabina.
Yeah. I didn't see her initially as annoying. I liked her. I liked her initially. She's got a lot of personality.
Yeah.
So okay, that's the first 2. There's only 8 for the first night. So we got Joseph. This guy is hilarious.
Actually, when they started Joseph's character reveal, right?
Yeah.
He was like running on the beach, and he seemed like he was going to be like this, dedicated athlete, and I'm in shape. And 5 steps into his beach running, he like practically keeled over. Like, all right, I'm not that guy, and
he seems a little funny.
Yeah, I think he'll be the
humorous
comic relief, and he knows that he has a creepy mustache, but he's going for it.
Yeah.
So and all that to me was just a little bit of side humor that Big Brother needs. I think there always needs to be some comic relief.
Yeah.
And it's my hope that that's what Joseph does during this show.
Yeah, they do tend to go for certain stereotypes of people that are going to fill certain roles. But the most hilarious thing about him, he works at a video store, like a legit VHS video store. And he goes, we're busy. We'll have 15 people in here at one time sometime.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was really funny.
I do like Joseph. I think he could be some comic relief. He is pretty self-aware far.
Yes.
So he's pretty self-aware. And I think he'll know when to turn that up and when to dial it back. I think there've been some past people who've used try to use some comic relief that always had it on a 10 and didn't know when to dial it back. He seems like he would be able to, use it when he needs it and dial it back when he has to.
Yep. So then we have Mackenzie. She is 6'2", they said?
In heels, 6'2". Yep.
Yeah, volleyball player.
Yep.
And a construction worker.
Yeah, project manager. Yep. Now, do you want to give yours on Mackenzie, or should I start?
I don't know if I have strong opinions about her either way. I mean, she so far seems in the middle of the road, athletic. Seemed kind so far.
Yeah, to me, she seemed like she's a hunter, right? So she's going to hunt for someone that she could play, or prey on. She did kind of diss all the guys. I'm looking for a guy who's at least 6'5" because I'm 6'2". None of the guys coming into the show.
Oh, yeah, she is looking for a showman.
Yeah, she's looking for a showman. She also talked about during her bio, during her reveal, that men are like, why are you in this business? And she is dedicated in trying to prove them wrong. So that's a red flag for me as the man.
Yeah, she is like, I am woman.
Yeah.
I'm doing a male job, and
yeah. But I think overall, she seemed to have if you pulled, I think, some of the persona away, she seemed to have a pretty nice personality. So I'd be interested to see how she goes. She is definitely, this show is the fork in the road for her, I believe. Again, my first impression, but she could come in and be a darling of this show and people really love her.
Yeah.
Or she could turn into a villain and that moniker sticks with her for the rest of her life. So how she plays this show, because she tried to come out strong.
Yeah.
So how she plays this show is going to be interesting because she could have it either way.
Yeah. We'll see. All right. Then we have Chemo. Is that what was that? What
Chemo,
his
yeah,
name was?
yeah.
He didn't leave a lasting impression. I don't think he did have a sad story because he had lost his brother, and him and his brother were super close,
Yeah.
and his brother loved Big Brother, and so he became a fan. So he's kind of doing this in honor of him. So that's a sweet story. Other than that,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
I think his story was really good. I think maybe for full context, he came out as gay, I think pretty early on. And the one person that accepted him immediately was his older brother, who tragically passed away from cancer. But before that, Big Brother was there. Let's always get together, 3 times a week and watch the show. And so he had something that he shared with his brother that he wants to pay homage to. But all in all, I think he just wanted to, it's a good chance for him to remember the good times and pay some homage. I think he's also somebody that could be a little bit of a jokester, but he strikes me as a super fan. And
oh yes, he would be.
Yeah, and
he's watched it since he's little.
Yes, and he is probably very well aware of all the strategies.
Yeah, he'll be
how to play them, be very strategic. And I think his stature gives him the opportunity to kind of sneak into the background, but ultimately be a big player on the show. Depends. We'll see how he plays it, but I kind of like him. He's actually a little bit of a front runner for me so far.
Oh,
yeah. See, you're getting some information as we speak.
Yeah. I want to say hi to Kim Kitty. Do you watch Big Brother? Do you watch the show? If not, we're filling you in.
Yeah. It'd be a good time to start.
Okay, so the next person's Angela, and I know she's your favorite. This is the person that's going to drive Carlos insane.
Yes.
But I love her. Oh, good. Kim Kitty, good. Yeah, she's a Gen Xer. She's like my age, and she's like, I'm ready to go in a house and like have some fun. And she still tries to be the, even though she's the mom, she's even a grandma, I believe. I can relate to her, and she still wants to just have a good time.
All right. So this one's going to be difficult for me because when they started doing her bio and, they said, hey, you made it on Big Brother. She got around a bunch of people. They were doing shots. She was like the life of the party, the loudest one in the group. And I thought, oh, how good for her. This is like Kim. Kim loves Big Brother. Kim wants to, go out and have a good time. It doesn't matter the age range, of people like, hey, if we're all just out having a good time, that's fine by me. I don't need to be pigeonholed in the over 50 group, I mean, I would like to have a good time and like to have fun. And so she gave off some pretty fun older person vibes. And one of the people that I liked very early on in Big Brother was a guy by the name of Chicken George. And Chicken George
was the older one in the house.
He was the older one in the house. And typically older house guests don't do well.
Right.
Except for evil Dick or whatever his name was. I mean, the older folks don't typically do well in the house. And she made, the passion plea that I'm going to be the first woman over 50 to win Big Brother, and that thing. So,
well, the women always give me hope because there'll always be somebody every year that goes in there. We got to rally the women. We got to get the women, and they turn on each other so fast. It's so infuriating. But she said the same thing.
Yeah. They.
So we'll see.
And it's funny because we say that at the beginning of a show, they're like, oh, they're going to do a women's alliance, and Kim gets all excited about the women's alliance. I go, that's going to be tore apart the next episode. And typically it is torn apart the next episode. But unfortunately, for me, Angela kind of turned into a bit of a chalkboard. And, nails kind of going across it. So I guess I got to give her a little bit of time because I want her to do well just because she's your demographic. But yeah, it was a little bit of a chalkboard for me. So.
All right. What do you mean by chalkboard?
Nails on a chalkboard.
Oh, nails on a chalkboard. Okay. All right. Then we have Chelsea. So Chelsea is only 5'2" and played, I don't know, was it D1 basketball?
She played basketball.
She
I don't
played
know.
collegiate level basketball. So she's super competitive.
Yeah.
She's also, she said she's part hood, part religious.
Yeah.
Like she used to part holy, part hood, part holy, which that was funny. Yeah. And so she said, I'm going to have to go repent after this season. So she seems pretty, like her mind is made up. She knows she's going to go in and not be so focused on that moral, oh, I can't backstab anybody.
Right. Actually, I liked her. I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit with the half hood, half holy. But actually she kind of grew on me a little bit initially. So even through the bio, I was like, she might be a good player. I think if you can stay out of the drama early and set a good toehold on the show, if she stays out of drama early, I think she'll be okay, because I think she has a good competitiveness to her, and I think she can be strategic.
Jason said Angela is embarrassing herself. I saw her preview.
Thank you. Thank you.
Secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same way. Yeah.
Don't hate.
All right.
We're trying to not lose our youth.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, where are we at? Oh, Tucker. This might be the last set. I'm not sure. Tucker, I think he's going to get himself into trouble.
Yeah.
He has a big personality, big personality. What did he do for a living? He's a marketing
and sales executive
and sales guy. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, what's your take on him? Are you just going to get in trouble?
He's loud. I thought loud. I don't know if I take him as arrogant or not. I don't know. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much. But
so my Tucker, a couple things. So he did kind of the, I'm a model kind of thing. He was taking some modeling pictures or whatever. And
he wants a showman.
And he wants a showman. So he's down for that. So, it could hinder your gameplay. But he also had some facial features and things that reminded me of Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't place it, but his mouth.
Yeah.
He has a very distinct mouth. I don't know. Yeah, like Jim Carrey. Like Jim Carrey. Characters.
Mm-hmm. So, again, when you kind of are trying to be the comedian and the showmans and all this other stuff, except for playing the game, that is the fast track to getting voted out pretty quickly, because you're in front of everybody, and I think he is putting himself on a dartboard right now.
Yeah, he had an interesting backstory too. When he was young, his dad came out as gay, so him and his siblings had a hard time dealing with that. So that's his background, where he comes from. I did write down that I think he's gonna be cocky. Was a little cocky.
I feel the exact same way.
All
So those are the characters.
First 8. Those are the first 8, and tonight we meet the second 8.
Of these first 8, who was your front runner again, or did you mention who your front runner was?
Out of all of them so far, I'm gonna go with Angela.
I knew it. They had that symbiotic kind of, relationship right from the moment they introduced her. I was like,
until she makes a huge, if she sabotages the women, I'm gonna be mad.
All right.
I'll be mad.
Yep. She'll disappoint you early on. Trust me.
There was a surprise last night, though. As in Big Brother, they always say, expect the unexpected.
Yes.
So This was the unexpected last night. And it could possibly turn out to be a 17th character.
Could
Do
be.
you want to
So-
explain about that?
So let's backtrack to I guess go forward. So Big Brother is a 90-day event this year,
Yep.
right? Didn't they do like 100 last year? And everyone, they'll switch it up, but this one is 90 days this year. And the winner gets $750,000
Yes.
for winning the game. Okay.
Yep.
So that's Big Brother, and they always do have this, expect the unexpected tagline.
Well, they had to change it up because they've been doing it for 26 years. And probably after about 7-8 years, all the contestants were coming in and they knew exactly what to do and exactly how to like get to the end. So yeah, they do some major twists and turns every year now.
Right.
Yeah.
So in this episode, they introduced the lady on the top left. Her name is an anagram. I forget what the name was.
Okay, so her name's Ainsley.
Ainsley. Okay. And what does that mean?
It's supposed to be what's the AI? Artificial intelligent something like it. They came up with a name based on an anagram for something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So she pleads to the house, if you vote me in to the house, I will be an extra house guest, the 17th house guest.
Right.
Or you could not vote me in and I will not join the cast this year.
Right.
So the castmates, right, the roommates had to decide, and they had to vote a majority to let this Ainsley into the game. They did not vote her in by a majority.
Did not. Right. It couldn't be tied. It had to be a majority. Yep.
So the vote was 4-4, and she needed a 5-3 to get in. So once they revealed that she was not voted into the house, she revealed her true identity, which was
she revealed her true identity.
she is AI. So on the bottom right, that is who Ainsley is. And Ainsley is going to be part of the game, whether that physical being is in the house or not, even though they voted her out. The AI bot there on the bottom right will be in the game and affecting the game throughout the show.
Okay, so this is what I'm questioning right now after last night. So last night's group did not vote her in. I'm thinking tonight's group will also have a chance to vote her in or not. So she's the live human being named Ainsley. So they introduced the first 8 to the picture in the bottom part there, the blue bald AI, more robotic person. I'm wondering if the human gets in, if the human Ainsley gets in, will there be both? Is there going to be this robot person, or are they saving that as a backup? Like, I don't know.
That is a good prediction for later, and hopefully we can make a bunch of those, because I don't know what they're going to do with that.
I don't know.
But
I do think the group tonight's going to get a chance to also vote. So, because that led to a competition.
Exactly. So I guess to put a bow on little Ainsley here, do you like the AI introduction? What's your thoughts about that?
I liked last night's show way, way more than I remember last year. I hated it. I remember after the first night, I was like, that's it. What are they doing? That was the most boring one ever. So this is different. I like to see, I like not knowing where it's going. I did get some tea on Ainsley, but I think I'll wait till after.
Yeah, see, I like to go in fresh. She'll research.
I do know a little bit of information about her. Sorry, I'm dropping my papers. All right, so because they did not vote her in, I guess they were going to do the competition no matter what, right?
Yeah,
whether she was voted in or not, they were going to have a first night competition.
Exactly.
So the people that voted yes got a positive competition, right? Like, well, it wasn't horrific because the people who voted no had to go stick their heads into like horrific bug jars.
Yeah. The person who voted yes had to get spun around for like 30 seconds, and then stand up
Well, that's
dizzily.
true.
I don't know if that's horrific or not horrific. I would vomit if that was me.
But they did separate the yeses into
Yeah.
one competition and the no's into another, because what they did, if you voted yes to let her in, your competition was to, like you said, sit in a chair, spin around. It was long, and then watch these like window panels light up like Simon, different colors, and remember the pattern. So now you're dizzy when you get off the chair and you have to go punch in the pattern. I think the most someone got was 4 colors.
Yeah.
And the person who did it the fastest with the most got like an upgrade, right? They got some kind of upgrade, but they don't know what that is. Then the people who voted no had to go into a room. And I don't know if you ever watched like Fear Factor back in the day, they made it seem like they're going to have to like stick their hand in a bunch of rattlesnakes and stuff. And then they go in the room and they had to put their head up. If you watched it, you saw they put their head up this box with a glass jar around them. They were I'm like, that's nothing. I would do that. So, and they were looking for scrambled letters and had to grab the sign and be the first one to do that. And then they got the slowest person in that one got a downgrade.
Right. And we don't know what those are yet.
Nope. Don't know what those are.
Right.
So then what else?
Well, I guess I want to go back a little bit. The competition, the positive competition, they get something that is hopefully positive, hopefully something that, gives them an advantage in the game. They didn't mention anything about them being head of household or anything like that at this point, which is cool. The person who lost, and it was silly the way they lost the no participants. They had to unscramble these words. After you unscrambled them, you had to put the word associated with the letters that you saw inside of this box with all these, horrific animals in there.
You got to know the rules of the game when you're going in there for a timed.
So everybody kind of unscrambled the words about the same time. And the person who lost, one of the last things you had to do was plug in this cord into the wall, then hit the button. Well, she forgot to plug in the cord and hit the button, and then she thought she got a word wrong, and then by the time she figured everything out, she lost. So that was too bad. But
and she was the competitive basketball player.
Yes.
So
the
she
holy,
was really mad at herself.
Half hood, half holy. Right. Yeah, she was mad. And I think Mackenzie, the
yes, construction
worker, 6'2" woman, she won the positive one. So that's where we kind of stand from last night.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes, bring it.
I thought it was interesting in the chat too. It was interesting that they use the words upgrade and downgrade.
Yes.
That sounds computerish.
Yeah.
Like they're going for this AI
theme. Yep.
Theme. So, the downgrade could be like wear a unitard for they're known for that,
right?
For a week or something like that.
It could be something as small as that, and it could be as big as, hey, you got to be one of 3 people that are on the block.
Yes.
I mean, there is a pretty wide range of punishment that they can hand out. So, or be on slop and all this other stuff. But but yeah. What so I think your overall opinion about the show last night, what was your overall opinion of the show?
Like I said, better than last year.
For sure.
I think I like the way they're doing it so far. I don't like to wait, so I wish we could meet all the guests and do everything the first night. I mean, they're dragging it out, but it would be a lot with 16 people. So I guess I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope they vote this Ainsley in. I don't know.
Yeah. So if you're asking,
Yes.
My opinion.
What's
Okay.
your opinion, babe?
Okay. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for her to ask me.
And
what
in
my
all
opinion-
fairness, I'm looking. This is our first live stream, so you guys know that. I'm looking to see if it tells me the time that we've been on here. Like, do you see that anywhere? I don't see it anywhere.
No,
So
but
that's okay. So
no,
what was your take?
whatever the time is down there, just
Well, I know, but
But-
I'm trying to learn the tools
oh,
too as
okay.
we go.
Yeah, we're learning the tools as we go. But I like the AI theme. I think it's very relevant, very today, which is kind of interesting for Big Brother to do that. So I think this is depends on how they use it. But so far, I like the twist. I like the introduction of AI. I like the introduction of Ainsley, the potential of another house guest coming in. And so far, from what I've seen, there have been no past house guests in this show.
Right.
So I hope that continues. I don't, I haven't looked at the.
I don't really like it unless if it was Janelle. Or some of the characters that have been very fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it when they bring other people on like that.
Right. So, but I like it that it's a whole new cast. I know I'm going to get to know them a little bit better and their personalities, but that was my first impression, and I thought it was a very good opening show. So, any questions from the chat about Big Brother that we could answer, or I don't even know if we have enough people on to.
Any questions from the chat? Or if you're watching this on replay, make sure that you like and please let us know your thoughts. What did you think of the first night, episode 1? Who's your favorite? Who do you think is going to be the train wreck? Who might be like the instigator? Or I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the past things that have happened. Jason said Chelsea is the front runner. Yeah, but she's getting a downgrade, so we got to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, I liked her too.
But I liked her a lot too.
Yeah, I did too. Okay, so predictions for tonight seems pretty straightforward.
I think they're gonna vote Ainsley in. We'll see.
The second group. So the second group are going in tonight. We did get a little sneak peek of who they were. They kind of showed just real quickly who the players were. Nobody really stood out to me or anything in that little sneak peek that we got at the end of last night's episode.
Jason said Angela Trainwreck.
Agreed.
I'm sure it'll happen, but we'll see.
Yep.
What were you saying? Because you made me think of something.
The 8 new people that are coming tonight. They did a quick blurb of those 8 coming in.
So my thought is, my initial reaction is there's more men maybe coming in tonight, and if there are, I don't think they'll vote Ainsley in because it seemed like, I don't know why I thought more men voted no. They did. It was 3 men to 1 woman last night that voted yes or no.
No,
3 of the guys, 3 out of the 4 guys voted no.
Right.
So if there's more men, then I predict she won't get in.
Yeah. Bummer. Bummer. I think the more cast members, the better. But
yeah, it makes it more interesting
for sure.
All right. So tonight, Big Brother's on in our time zone, Eastern time zone, from 9 to 10. That's why we can't do the lives right after. Because we said we can't stay up that late. But we'll come on the next day and talk about it.
Well, I think what we're going to do, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to precede every single episode for the rest of the season. So we will come on. So if like tonight we're on because we're preceding an episode that'll start in about an hour.
Yes.
We won't come on again until Sunday night, which will precede that episode. And I think they may come on a little bit earlier on Sunday. So we'll have to check what that time is. But that is going to be our Big Brother.
That's what we're planning on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's gonna work out. So if you haven't been a Big Brother fan in the past, we recommend watching it. If you are, watch it and then join us in the chat when we go live so we can have some good discussions, because the the more they get into the days, the more drama there's going to be, and it can get crazy sometimes.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'd love to have that banter. Who's your favorite? Maybe we have, somebody that you're pulling for that you hope wins. Maybe we have different favorites. So, yeah, that'll certainly spark a lot of debate. And, we could either team up and become an alliance with a nice, fun little name, or we're going to be mortal enemies throughout the whole Big Brother show. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so I think we're going to wrap up this episode. However, before you leave, if you're in the chat, we had an intro that we played at the very beginning. It's only 2 minutes. So I'm going to play it again, and then I would love your feedback. So here is, I should have blown it. Hold on, let me get us off. The show will start shortly, so while you wait, let's get to know your hosts. Kim and Carlos are a married couple, grew up in the same small town, and met because of sports. Here's a blast from the past of what we were like back then. Fun facts about Carlos: he was our high school basketball star, and he ran a leg of the Olympic torch run for the 1984 Olympics. I was a freshman when Carlos was a senior. He wrote these messages to me in our yearbook back in 1985. We decided to start our podcast in 2023. Our first season used this cover art. The first season was our memoir about getting your child through cancer. The name of our show has deep meaning for us because doctors would always blow us off with these 2 words, typical and unique. We made this montage part of our intro for a while.
Hit with so many typicallys and uniques.
Oh, yes, that is very typical. We see it all the time.
Don't worry about it. That's typical,
Oh, every child is unique, so we can't say what is typical.
That's typical. See you later.
Well, that's unique. We don't really see that very much.
Yeah, typical or unique.
Since then, we took a break from podcasting and came back with season 2 as a discussion podcast, mostly discussing true crime. We can talk about almost anything on here, though. Tonight is our first live, and we thank you for joining us. Now, if you're ready, let's get into it.
I love that. Let's get into it.
That's going to be our tagline.
Yeah, let's get into it. I love that.
We're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you. When's our next one? Tomorrow. No, Sunday.
Sunday.
We will see you Sunday.
Sunday before the next Big
then.
Brother. Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.